G'day guys, Tim here for Angler's Warehouse. Just going to talk you through a bit of the Abu Garcia baitcast range today that you can find on our website. We've got a pretty extensive range of it and pretty much always have stock, so if you're an Abu Garcia fan or looking to try something different, we're definitely the place to go, place to have a look. The first one's probably one of my favourites, the Revo MGXTREME. If you're into finesse bait casting for species like bass, brim, even trout, that sort of thing. Pretty limited with options on the Australian market for a true BFS reel. So essentially, this would be a standout performer within that category based on its physical weight. It's only 128 grams, which so it's going to, on a light rod, it's a super finesse setup. The ability to cast lures down to 3 grams, 1/12 of an ounce, that type of thing. Which, yeah, it's pretty exceptional, just in that ability. Comes from the SLC spool design, so it's nice and light. Typical with Abu, they tend to run multi-stack carbon drags as well, so you get a super smooth drag curve. Higher ratings for the size of the actual drag itself, and in this particular model you get a carbon fibre handle to save weight. Cork knobs are the nice touch if you're after those points of difference. Yeah, the cast control system in this is centrifugal and magnetic, so there's plenty of options there depending on your ability or also environmental factors and the lures that you intend to. New from Abu Garcia out this season is the Roxani Powershooter. So same size frame as a Premier, so drag line capacity is going to be about the same. The best thing about this reel that I've found, and I've used it personally, is that the 8:1 ratio and the oversized handles make it very good for burning pontoons, for species like mangrove jack and that here on the Gold Coast. I'd see it to be very good reel for frogging and things like that on the weed mats in barra dams and that sort of thing as well. Again, multi-stack carbon drag system, so I think 7 kilos of drag's generally about par for reels of this size with Abu. Centrifugal brakes and magnetics as well. Any lure from 7 grams upwards is going to be effortless to cast, obviously on the right rod, and very well priced for what you get. Just to recap, oversized handle, heavy drag system, castability very good, and you'll probably be surprised at the price compared to what the competitors would have on the market today. Another great offering from Abu Garcia in the baitcast range would be the Premier. Probably towards the top tier of what Abu produce in terms of baitcasters, and very popular in the northern states for species like barra, threadies, mangrove jack, all that sort of thing. 6.6:1 gear ratio makes it very universal in terms of different techniques that you might be using, whether it be top water crankbaits, jerk baits, that sort of thing. So the highest bearing count in the Abu Garcia baitcast range of this size would be the Premier. Castability is going to be around that 6-7 gram mark. Got their best cast control system in them, so for all those environmental factors, wind and all that sort of thing that come into it, it's going to sort of assist in getting rid of those bird's nests or those opportunities where a bird's nest might arise. Carbon handle and EVA knobs are a nice touch on it, and there's an actual coating on the pinion and the pawl which really help with the rotation of the reel and make everything feel nice and smooth. To look at, pretty beautiful, black and gold. Yeah, Revo Premier. Favourite of mine in the Abu Garcia baitcast range is definitely the Abu Revo Ike. Was released last year, limited in Australia, and then we've just received more stock, which is pretty good because it's a very special reel at its price point. Designed in conjunction with Mike Iaconelli, US Bass Pro. Probably seen him on socials and that sort of thing. Pretty big name in the States. 6.6:1 ratio lends itself to a lot of different techniques. The EVA knobs are pretty special. Oscillation's very good, it feels nice and tight. The braking system is again centrifugal and magnetic, so casting lures around that 6 and 7 grams is going to be a bit of a breeze, if not effortless, and it casts as good as anything that you're going to get on the market with lures of 7 grams and up. Line capacity is good for anything from 15 pound braid right through. You'd perhaps run 50 on this reel in certain situations, but that 20 and 30 pound for species like barra, mangrove jack, Murray cod, threadies, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be more than suitable. Like all reels, baitcast reels in the Abu range, they do come with maintenance port. So a small Phillips screwdriver, you'll be able to undo that, and it does come with, they all come with machine oil included in the box, so you can keep everything running nice and smooth in between servicing. So released 2018 was the Revo BEAST 40 size. When it came out, obviously around the time that swim baiting really sort of took off in the country as well for Murray cod and barramundi. A lot of customers that have bought these have come from competitors' products or even just bought this as their first swim baiting reel have sort of praised them really well, especially people in store that have gone on trips and that sort of things. Even guys taking them to PNG, fishing for black bass and you know, the other options for what you take over there in terms of baitcasters, the prices are, you know, would be more than double what you're paying for one of these. Line capacities, you'll fit 100 metres at 50 pound on there if you wanted to go that. If you go 30 pound, you're going to get about 150 on there. The reel does come with a jigging handle also, so in a lighter line class you'd be able to use it for micro jigging in species like snapper and tuskies and pearlies and all that sort of stuff too. But I think its main purpose, for lack of a better word, would be that swim baiting thing, throwing those big baits. The oversized gear is certainly capable of that. They do have a claimed 30 pound or 14 kilo drag system, which is a massive amount of drag for a reel of this size, and not that you'd ever probably need to exert that much pressure in these sort of situations, but having it there is probably, you know, it's not a bad thing. But yeah, the oversized handles is sort of really set it off, especially for swim baiting and live baiting, all those sort of techniques. And they are available in left hand as well, and also in a high gear ratio. So, you know, the low gear ratio is definitely good for those big baits, where the high speed one might probably lend itself better to the jigging option, and then also fishing things like plastics and jerk baits for barra and that sort of stuff as well.